Good morning, my Presence of Light family, my Humanity Healing family, all of you beautiful souls. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman. And I'm just on a couple minutes early, just so people can gather, take their time. And it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Last week I had a severe bronchial. I'm still a little bit congested, but I don't do illness. And so it was very strange for me to be taken to the point where I just realized I can't do my talk show. And so thank you all for your prayers, your blessings, and your thoughts, and hope you had a good week. So I'm seeing some people arriving, Rachel and Amanda and Anita, and thank you all for your continued love and support of all that we are and all that we do. So today's topic really is, as I keep reading it, I keep saying it's backwards. It should be surrender and then receive awareness. But it came very perfectly clear this morning as awareness and surrender. And the interesting part of my talks is that I don't plan ahead for these, except for perhaps in a couple of hours before I do these shows. So it's information that I'm receiving for me. And the gift that I have is to be able to share it with you, because we're all going through, excuse me, this process of awakening to the truth of who we truly are. So if you look on the sidelines, you'll see I posted a poem from my dear friend Mia Leventhal, who I met several years ago on a online art and poetry consortium or gathering group. And the two of us, being both wordsmiths, just, have had this amazing friendship for years. And what's interesting is she too, and I, and all of us are going through this process of awakening. And sometimes it can be scary as hell. And it can be uncomfortable. And it really is all about awareness. So what I wanted to do as people are gathering, and hopefully I can scroll down, namaste, yes, from Manisha, and let's see if I can get this thing rolling here. This is the fun part that I have, is my limited abilities of technology sometimes. I'm a great wizard, a great alchemist, but sometimes the computers just confuse the daylights out of me. So good morning to all of you. Some new comments. There we go. So I think we're scrolling now. Okay, so what I did was up on the corner, in the opening, I put her poem, and I want to start with that. And she creates these lovely cards. They're soul inspirations, message cards by Kalaya, and she has a website, Facebook page, and she has an Etsy page. And so this is a little plug for her, because she posted this 2 days ago, and I wasn't aware of it. And when I randomly picked this card this morning, just as a fluke after picking my other cards, it was a perfect match. And what I always tell people is these synchronicities that we're all finding in our lives, they may be just simple things, but we need to start really paying attention to the frequency of them, what the messages are, because this is the awareness. This is the universe, the great divine universe, that we are a full embodied member of, reminding us to become aware. So let's just take a moment, drop into your heart, open the lens, if you will, of that heart, and open it, because this is a safe place for you to open your hearts. And I want to read this to you. I am awakening. My petals softly opening to the warm, glistening sun, leaving behind all that was said and done. I am a flower with beauty in my soul and love in my heart, my sacred power. Not everyone will enjoy my gifts, nor do I need them to uplift. For I know what I need to heal, and I am not afraid to feel. I shall walk this earth untouched, blessed by the divine. I shall be just fine. Allow those words to fill your heart and know how precious each and every one of you are on this journey that we call human life. When I read that as the last card, I said, wow, this is the synchronicity of all that we're going through, all the suffering that people are coming up with. And you all, I know, are having some, being visited by some sort of suffering, and knowing that things are changing. We can't, and changing so fast, we can't hold on anymore to what's happening. It's happening so fast. And I'm not able to see your comments. Oh, come on, please stop. Oh, please, please, please. No, it's not going to work for me today. Oh, wait a minute, it says new comments. All right, 21 comments, but not going to show me. Well, perhaps that's okay. This is it. This is where we are. This is what we do. We roll with it. So, awareness. The first card I pulled this morning, and I love this. I pull these cards just to give me again, was awareness. And it's a sacred meditation card. And on the front of it, it has the Crab Nebula, an amazingly powerful nebula in the cosmos that's just somehow I'm attracted to. Somehow I feel that I've come through the Crab Nebula. And I don't say that to people. I'm getting bolder with what I'm saying to people. But I feel that a connection to that. And so here again is a synchronicity that I wasn't looking for. This is just random asking for advice. And the message for that is, as I become more aware of my inner nature, I become more aware of the spiritual vibrations of others. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. As I connect to my higher, the affirmations are, as I connect to my higher power, I become filled with its presence. I then feel the connection with other souls. My source is everyone's source. My power is everyone's power. My heart is everyone's heart. We are sourced in divine goodness. We are unique souls, and creative goodness is our true nature. And so that message for me was just the beginning of saying yes. Yes, Charlie, this is where you belong. This is what you're here to do. Let go of all of the fears. And as I said, I was sick last week. The first process that I went through was to go into fear and say, oh, I'm sick, I can't do this and all. And the next moment, the message came, Charlie, go deeper into your body. Honor all of those germs, those bacterium, whatever it is that's causing this, it be it a virus, whatever. Go in and meet them face to face. No fear. Know that they're just living out their existence. And it's just a tiny little fragment of yours. They didn't come into you to destroy you or to with evil intention. They're just fulfilling their existence. And you have been neglecting yourself. So you have created a space in you that was vulnerable. And it's time now that you deepen your relationship with your cellular, your microcellular structure. And I was like, wow, what is this all about? And what was interesting was, in that moment, I said, okay, I'm going to relax. I'm going to let it go. And the process of that made me realize how vast the world I live in is. And that I'm always thinking, as we all are, outside of us. And yet there's this whole universe within us that is asking to be attended to, as well as the outer universe. There is no longer a separation. It's ending. The separation of within and without is dissolving. And we're being asked to embrace more than we have ever done in the history of humanity. That's a powerful statement. Yet this sickness, this illness, whatever it was, brought me to that place. And so I ask each of you to dive into yourself. Hopefully you don't have to do it through a virus or a cold or an illness. And I know many of you are suffering from illnesses that are very debilitating. But I'm asking to open your heart and start to begin to have a dialogue with that illness. There's no right way. It's just opening your heart and surrendering. And this is where the word surrender entered the picture. And what's interesting, surrender was what I did. And it's also the card I pulled, which was an angel blessing card. I don't know, I thought I had it here somewhere. I do, I'm sure I do. And this is from Angel Blessings. And I need to move this out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the surrender card. And it's the Seraphim Zachariel. And Zachariel's message for us is really one of amazing wisdom. As I say, I don't intentionally go looking for these things. And the message of Zachariel is, quote from the reading, this is by Angel Blessings from Kimberly Maroney. When you surrender, you are remembering that you are a fragment of God. Deep surrender opens the connection with your eternal self, which is your personalized manifestation of an important aspect of God. The great illusion we face is that we are the small self of our everyday life. You know, that tiny self. We get trapped into believing that we are the emotional baggage and the images from past experiences. Be willing to surrender the ego and its collection of small-minded, critical, negative beliefs that separate you from the love of God. I'm going to write that. I'm going to put that here. I can paste it, and hopefully I can enter it. And I did something. I'm sure it's gone. Still not reading anybody in the sidelines, but it's okay. Hope you receive that. What a powerful message. I was not expecting any of this. And so I share with each of you as well. Sip on this cup of wine, if you will. Tea, if you prefer. And realize that surrender is not a word we feel comfortable with. We never have. Because we've been trained and programmed to believe it's a form of failure. And yet here, what's being expressed as surrender is a really powerful form of strength and witnessing. How can we witness who we truly are if we don't surrender? So it's not a giving up. It's a diving deeper. When the whale and the dolphin surrender to the ocean, what do? They dive deeper. They allow the ocean to embody them while they embody the ocean. Isn't that beautiful? So too can we do that in our daily lives. And the way we do that is just small things, beginning to observe, become aware of these things that are happening. And we've got a lot of awareness going on. So try to back away from the external awareness of the political, socio-political environment. Know that that is just the big screen showing us that, you see this, kids? That's what's happening inside of you. This is your stuff. This is your stuff. You don't even have to look at this. You're going to go through this on your own. So what you need to do now is focus within yourself. Take care of you. Dive deeper into who you are, what your belief systems are, what your fantasies are, what your desires have been all throughout your lifetime, and start to move into saying, that's ridiculous. What was that all about? And as we're all going through this process of releasing them, release them for one final time. One more time. This is it. Make it your final letting go. That's been my message all week. I lay on a table yesterday during an entrainment, and this beautiful soul who works on me was working on me, and as she was working with my energies in my spine, I realized that I'm about to say goodbye to Charlie Bergeron, who died 27 years ago. I'm still in that body, but my near death is a death, and I'm going to say goodbye to him for the last time. And I share that with you because it's a powerful moment when we can look at who we think we are from the ego mind and the energy that is stuck in our bodies, and look at them and begin to say goodbye for the last time. And what I realized in that moment was exactly what I had thought all along, was that memory of who I was. And you don't have to die to do this. You're going to do this full-bodied in your flesh. But who I was needs to be mourned, buried, and let go of. And you can't do that. You can't be that aware unless you surrender. So here's the flip side. Awareness and surrender, surrender and awareness. It's the yin and yang of what we're going through right now. Look at time, see how I'm doing on time. Okay, good. So that's what I wanted to bring to you today, because I'm bringing it up within myself. And as I tell you, everyone, I'm not speaking from some book. I'm not speaking from somebody else telling me what this is. I speak from experience and know that each of us are going through this on some level, and we're all uncomfortable. So embrace that uncomfortableness. Know in your heart that you are this amazing divine being. That the separation we think we have from God or Creator, however you want to call that or look at it, is impossible. It's a figment of our imagination. It's a creation and a story that we've been telling ourselves for thousands of years. And in the process of that, we've been manipulated. We've been abused. We've been hurt over and over again. All because we were told that surrendering was failure. You're not a failure. I'm not a failure. There is no person on this earth that's really a failure. They're choosing failing systems. They're choosing to fail at whatever they do because they're not honoring who they truly are. This divine soul that can't fail. Can't fail. Can only fail if we overwrite the message. So the more we become aware of this process, my belief is that we step across a threshold. I think that my last talk was talking about moving down the path and removing the stones. But we begin to cross a threshold into a new world, into a new universe, into a new universal beingness of unity rather than separation. And this is what we're all choosing to end. This is part of the evolution of humanity, as we have come through the thousands of years of separation and now moving into unification, wholeness, divine oneness. Not as we've told ourselves in the stories, because the stories are only our imagination's way of describing that into language. But we're going to experience something far more profound than any of us are expecting. I love the great visionaries. Some of you may be watching. And even you all know this can't be written because it's happening right now in the moment. So, as a result of our separation, we become sick, we have accidents, we have deaths, we have hurt, somebody leaves us, hurts us. These are all the expressions to remind us that we're not weak and suffering, but we have the power to overcome them all. We may not choose that. And so a lot of people sit in their suffering and in their mourning and in their loss. And that's their choice. And if you're doing that, I want to tell you, you can choose something better. It's just by becoming aware of what you're focusing on. What are you watching on the inner TV here? Mind what you're watching on that TV out there. I don't watch it, so I don't know half of what's going on there. But what's going on this inner TV, and what are you watching in the reruns? What are the reruns telling you? And realize, wait a minute, I can change that channel. I have the power to change the channel. And as Mia said, I shall walk this earth untouched. We'll start to walk this earth untouched by this lack of self-worthiness, by this this lacking in our beingness we call self-worthiness. And we'll begin to see ourselves as this light and love and peace that we truly are. So surrendering, just to wrap it up, is really surrendering is tearing down the walls. And when that message came through me, I said, wow, I could become very political now, couldn't I? I'm not going there. But what an interesting diagram we're being shown about building walls or not building walls, and what walls represent. And I'm saying, this is just amazing. It's in our face. It's being thrown right in our face. Where are the walls within each of us? That a wall around this heart that keeps this contained so that nobody can get in and everybody inside feels safe. And who is this? These little beings inside of this wall that feels safe. Do I want to be a little being dwelling in a walled-in heart? Wow. I don't think so. Tear down the walls. Tear them down. Rip them apart. Know that we are the ones who have separated. Know that we are the ones who have been building walls for our entire existence here on planet Earth. So whether they're real walls in physical form on the land, or walls around our emotions, or the greatest detriment to us, the wall around our hearts, you are now the Magi. You are now the alchemists. You are now the wizards. You have that magic wand. You have that special potion. You have those sacred geometrical patterns to work with. And you are now being called to use them. This is the call. The call is to open your hearts, become aware, surrender to your heart, and express this amazing energy that you are, this divine power of creation. Because as long as we continue separation in any form whatsoever, we invite suffering to become a part of our journey. So I think it's 10:30. I think I've completed what I had to say and bring through. I apologize, I could not read your comments on the sidebar. That bothers me beyond no ends, because I love you all so dearly, and I want to see you and feel you and hear you. However, there will be next week, and I will read them, and hopefully I'll get to do some commenting on them for you later. But I just want you to rest in peace now, and just know that no matter what's going on in your lives, honor who you are. Honor who you are as this just amazing being. And treat yourself as you would your own child, your own infant. Because on some level, we are being born again, and we're in our infancy. And the new world that we are going to exist in is not going to look anything like the one we're in now. And that's the promise. That's the promise of taking the time to dive into yourself, swim around in there, get to meet what exists in there, and clean house. So, I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you, and you are me. Each of us create this most beautiful flower who, as Mia said so lovely, I am awakening, my petals softly opening to the warm, glistening sun, leaving behind all that was said and done. Thank you, Mia. You're a blessed soul. And thank each one of you for showing up, listening, and just being present for this simple half hour. May your week be filled with magic, because you are the magic. Till next week, see you in the reruns. Yeah, bye-bye.